Started. We're excited to have Coach Stefanie Golan join us and lead the soccer program. So we can start with the opening statement from Coach.
Yeah, I first and foremost, I want to apologize if my 5-year-old runs in at any point because the boys came down with me on this trip, so they're sitting on the couch behind the computer here. But certainly really excited and honored to be the second coach in the history of the Mizzou program. It's kind of a little bit of a homecoming for me, and really excited to see what we can build here in the SEC. So thank you guys all for having an interest, and fire away.
Start with Natalie, then Anthony.
Hey, Coach, it kind of seems like a whirlwind of the past few days. You just came from Minnesota, you bring your boys down here, you're in the office. Can you kind of tell me what it's been like for you and how it feels to finally be here in Columbia?
Yeah, the relationship status on Facebook that says it's complicated. Anytime people ask me the question of like, when are you actually going to be there and stuff, that's my response is, it's complicated. My house up in Minnesota hit the market yesterday at 11, and I had signed an offer a couple hours later. So that's done. We got on the road. The boys are here with me after we're done with this call, going out to see some houses so that we can hopefully find out where we're going to relocate to. Only here today and part of tomorrow before I have to head back to Minnesota. My 5-year-old actually has to have a surgery on Friday, so need to be back up there for that. And then, a couple weeks later, should be down here full time. So it has been nothing short of a whirlwind, and, really looking forward to getting here. I met a couple of the players in person today. I've been spending a lot of time on individual Zooms, getting to know the women, and, really excited about what we can accomplish here. So yeah.
Coach, from one Francis Howell North alum to another.
Oh,
no. What's it like kind of, getting this job back in your home state? What's this homecoming kind of been like for you?
Yeah, it's awesome. Right after the announcement happened, there, like, a lot of the early program alums are women that I played with and against growing up. And so, I think the first 50 texts may have been, when's the first alumni weekend? And it was, I'm facilitating that and stuff. I'm not participating in that. So, it's pretty cool, like walking around and, seeing pictures of some of the women that I played with, growing up in high school and stuff, like on the walls of, Nikki Thole, the first All-American. We played club soccer together, and, it's just really neat to get to be here. Like, I feel like every opportunity that I've been afforded in the world of soccer comes from growing up and playing in St. Louis at such a high level. And yesterday opened up the first opportunity to speak with the 2023 class on the phone, and talking to some St. Louis kids. It was really fun to say, hey man, we're gonna really try to build this thing, and have the kids from St. Louis and Kansas City be such an important part of this. So it's really neat that it's like, there's so many people in the soccer world. Like one of the girls who was on our list, her dad was a big player in the same era that I was playing in. And so those kind of things are just like, man, life has come full circle. And that's a pretty cool thing. And go Knights.
Eric and Natalie.
Nice. Sorry.
Hey, Coach, 2 questions for you. First, will this be your first time living back in the state of Missouri since you went to college?
Yep.
And so just to kind of come back after so much time away, how has soccer in the state of Missouri kind of changed since last time you were here?
Well, last time I was here, there were so many different clubs, and a lot of things have all come together. Where like St. Louis Scott Gallagher is the big ECNL club, and that seems to be like a collaboration of kind of like Bush and JB Marine and Scott Gallagher all kind of coming together under one umbrella, which I never thought would happen. Like different things like that, but it's still super strong. With the state tournament last week, it's like so funny to see some of the names that are in it now, with where those programs were when I was playing, not even like in the conversation. So there's been a tremendous amount of growth. One of the women who's committed to our program in the future, her high school coach actually coached my younger brother. And so he had a message for me, and I told her, go back and don't say anything to him, just nutmeg him and tell him it was from me, So it's, there's still a lot of the same people involved in different levels. And it's, it's comfortable, I think that the transition back is going to be really smooth. And, I hope to get some Emos pizza here pretty soon and really feel like I'm at home.
I'm sure recruiting is always on the brain for you. How do you feel like being from St. Louis, from this area? How do you think that's going to help you? And what can you say about the talent that's coming out of, Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Columbia, St. Louis, all those areas?
Yeah, it's really strong. And so, that's where we want our base to be. We're going to spend a lot of time in those two locations and, really work hard to develop a relationship. We want to be a program that those young women dream of playing at. And, to do that, you've got to create the relationship. You've got to make sure that Mizzou is on their brain all the time. We want to make connections with coaches at the club level, at the high school level, having them come in and kind of see the program behind the scenes and let them get to know us and, what we're going to be about and, have them be excited about what the future of Mizzou looks like. And so, for me, being able to connect with them on silly things like restaurants and things like that is kind of fun. Like there's some places that I remember going to as a kid that I'm like, I don't even know if those places exist anymore, but we're going to talk about it. It's going to be great. So, it's, I think just like being back here, I've always said that there's two really special jobs that you can have in college coaching. One is your alma mater. The other one is kind of the marquee program in the state that you grew up in. And so this is that for me. So I'm super excited. I think we can build something really special here.
Anthony, then Eric.
Coach, you talked a little bit about, meeting up with some of the players that you currently have. What have those conversations kind of looked like? And are you kind of starting to get a little bit of an early idea of what you're going to want to run with tactically at all?
The tactic piece will probably be the last piece once we actually get to be on the field with them, right? Like I've watched enough film to understand some of the qualities of what we're coming into, but not so much that I'm jaded about what they can or can't do. The conversations have been great. I think the women were genuinely surprised when Coach Blitz announced his retirement. So it was a bit of a shock to them, but I think they're genuinely excited about taking a step forward and things, building upon the foundation that's already there. I think they want to win. They want to win at a high level, and now it's just a matter of starting to pay the price that it takes to do that. So, really excited for August. Like I think, they're all like, wow, everybody has a clean slate. This is a fresh start, and I'm like, yeah, but fresh start is not easy, right? Like fresh start means you have a little bit more to prove because there's no background. I'm not coming in and saying, hey, I want everybody to give me a full rundown. Like what you show me in the first couple of days of preseason is what is going to be, the angle that I take on things. So it's a great opportunity for them. It's a fresh opportunity, like from my standpoint, coming into the SEC. When I was at Minnesota, we did play against some SEC opponents, so I'm familiar with some of them. Obviously in the fall, we weren't playing in the Big Ten, so I watched a lot of SEC because they were. So, have some idea, but, new challenge of competing against different coaching styles, different systems of play. That's fun as a coach, like it's all a chess match, and, getting to match up with some unfamiliar opponents, makes it a lot more fun. And, we get to pull a few more moves along the way. So it's going to be a lot of fun as much as it is a challenge.
Coach, I'm talking to Coach Blitz when he retired. I know his wishes were to just leave the new coach alone and just become the world's biggest fan and not try and, be the, coach in passing. But has there been like any kind of message from him or any kind of insight he's given you as to how to drive this thing?
Yeah, like I've known Coach Blitz since I was a kid. Growing up, he was at Butler before he started the program here at Mizzou, and he's an awesome human. And so like I spoke with him throughout the process, just, picking his brain and trying to get a little bit deeper into, all right, so you've chosen to retire, like if I'm going to really truly consider this, what do you think are the biggest challenges? Like where is the program right now? And one of his big messages was, he's like, I've run my race, and I feel like somebody new coming in is going to be able to take it another step forward. And, that's exciting, and to know that he truly, it would be really difficult. It was hard for me to leave Minnesota after 9 seasons. So I can't even imagine, as long as he's been here, like making that decision and then actually having it happen and kind of going through that. And he truly has been fantastic. Andy Stutz, who I hired, who I worked with before, when Andy came on campus, I wasn't even down here. And, Coach Blitz took him to breakfast and spent some time so, he could pick his brain about the soccer piece. So, Coach Blitz has been absolutely great. I'm excited that, that he's going to be a fan. And, when things get a little crazy, I have a sounding board and stuff, but he really is pretty hands off. And if I reach out, he's absolutely willing to have those conversations, but he is not trying to insert himself at all. And Max is really excited because he left a tiger tail that he can hit people with. So, that's the added bonus.
Natalie, then Anthony.
You mentioned one of the biggest things for college coaches coming back, coaching at the marquee school in the state you grew up. What does that mean to you personally? You've touched that a little bit. And where do you think and hope that you can take this program?
Yeah, again, I think so much of who I am from a soccer standpoint is all founded on, growing up and playing in such a great environment in St. Louis. The program that I played in my last couple of years, JB Marine, like we won a national championship and, did some of those things, which was absolutely awesome. And, to be able to now feel like I can give back and maybe, create an option in one of the best conferences in the country for kids to be able to stay home and really take a lot of pride in that and represent that at a high level. Like we want to be competitive in the SEC on a regular basis. And if you're competitive in the SEC on a regular basis, you're competitive at the national level on a regular basis. And, and I think that you can certainly do that. Are there challenges to that? Absolutely. Like, are there programs in the SEC that are going to, have more resources and things? Absolutely. But does that mean that we're going to back away and that we're going to say, okay, well, we're going to be okay with being okay? No, I want kids who want to take on those challenges, and we're going to find ways to turn those challenges into advantages. And, like I do well with kids who have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, of the kids who maybe they do have the capacity to kind of play, at a top 5 program or something, but there's one piece that is held against them, whether it's their size or, they're not quite quick enough or whatever. Like those are the kids I want, because those are the kids who have something who have a little bit more to prove. And we're going to build something great around those kids who get overlooked by those top programs. And then we're going to bite those programs along the way as well. So I'm a little bit competitive if you can't see that.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, what do you think the main goals of this coming season are going to be on the field and kind of building on what Coach Blitz kind of left?
Yeah, I think that the greatest quality of the program that he's left is, their grittiness and they're willing to battle and grind and, and fight, scrap and claw, defensively. And we're gonna continue to build upon that. The biggest thing for us is within the first week of preseason, like really figuring out what do we have, like the question of tactics got brought up. Well, my tactics are going to involve like putting the best team that we can out on the field in a way that's going to bring out the best that they have to offer. So, how we play, like I'm not a coach who has one system and we're losing this on the year. And so we need to bring the same thing in. We're going to bring in the best players that we can, and we're going to build the right system around them to maximize their potential. And so very quickly ascertaining what we have to work with and how are we going to make them the most successful as quickly as we can. We're not looking to turn anything on its head. We're looking to build off of the great qualities that already exist and then take it the next step. And, I think one of the things that I hope to build is off of turning teams over quickly is now, can we have a little bit more of a dynamic attack that goes along with that? And, until we've had a chance to work with the girls on the field ourselves, we don't really know what that's going to look like yet.
Josiah, then Eric.
Coach, you had so much success at the University of Minnesota, and now you come here to Mizzou as a St. Charles native, of course. So what are some things that you hope to bring to these players at Mizzou?
Yeah, like I think one of the things first and foremost is that I care a lot about them above and beyond them just being soccer players. Like we invest in them at a really, really high level, both on and off the field. I think, to maximize their success athletically, we've got to be pushing them to excel outside of the field of competition as well. And so there's a lot that goes into their 360-degree development. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We really focus a lot on the culture and empowering the young women to, take full control over what that culture is going to look like. We met with a smaller group a little bit earlier today to talk about some of that of, hey, when teams start out and they get together the first time, do you know any team that says, hey, let's not suck this year? Or, hey, let's be average this year? No, on day one, every single team is talking about winning and talking about winning at a high level. That's what you're supposed to do, right? And for us, it's about not saying things because we're supposed to. It's about saying things because we believe them, and then taking the step back to say, if that's what we really, truly want to achieve and accomplish, how do we set up our daily environment, and what choices do we have to make every single day to reflect that? Because if we're not willing to do that, we have to change the narrative of what we're saying. And, the awesome thing is there's a good core of young women here who really, truly, I think, want to achieve at a high level. And, we're starting to set the stage to empower them to take some ownership over what that's going to look like.
Coach, you mentioned earlier it's complicated, to try and get everything here. What's the road like to make it less complicated and get exclusive in Missouri and Columbia? And then once you have that chance to be exclusive, what are kind of the first two things on the to-do list?
Yeah, so I think, for sure, to make it less complicated, it's a matter of how the recovery of Max's surgery goes, to be quite honest with you, because as soon as he's in a position where we can travel, we want to get down here and be here full time. We've got a lot of recruiting on the horizon of some, big national events that we're getting out to. And I've got a great staff. Andy, he and I worked together for 2 seasons at Minnesota before he went to Louisville and experienced, success there. The program did better once he was there than it did before he was there, which is fantastic to see. We've got a great relationship, a great amount of trust between the two of us. Molly Paletto is going to stay on, and she's got a lot of great inside knowledge of the team, of Mizzou, just institutionally, of how things operate. And so for us, it's I think it's getting together and spending time together with the support staff. And, to me, everybody who touches our program and our young women's lives on a consistent basis, they don't work for me. We work with one another. We work together, to develop these young women and to put them in a position to maximize their potential on and off the field. And so getting people really, really comfortable with who I am, what I value, and what we want to accomplish across the board here. Because one of the things that you learn is that in college soccer and even the higher levels you go to, so when you're at the Power 5 institutions where everybody's like, oh man, soccer is going to be the number one priority. Well, it is and it isn't, right? And you do have some young women who want to further their career and they want to be able to play professionally. And then you have some who they know this is going to be their 4-year experience, and that's going to be it from a soccer standpoint. And it's okay, and it's, can we all get on the same page with what we're trying to accomplish, what that's going to look like, and can we have a steadfast commitment to that? And if we do, everybody's going to get what they want out of the experience, even though that's different across the board. You know, everybody can accomplish what they want and leave the legacy that they hope to leave, as long as we're all on the same page. So my first couple of things, one, recruiting, right? We gotta stay on top of that and make sure we don't fall behind. And then two is making sure that everybody who's within the program is on the same page before we hit the ground running in August.